Traditionally, we've talked about evangelizing is trying to tell people about Jesus. We share the gospel, we preach, we have Bible meetings, we do healings, so that they will believe in God, and then after they believe in God, then we'll bring them into the family. That's very often been the case for us, right? First the father, and then the family. Sometimes it works great. You see evangelizing campaigns with thousands of people saying yes to Jesus, and hopefully at least a big part of that group will be part of the family afterwards to be able to be a disciple. Because we know it's not just about getting them saved, isn't it right? It's not just about saying yes to Jesus, it's about becoming a disciple, being part of the family, being part of God's mission in the world. It all belongs together. Now, if the world out here is going to need the family, if the world around us is going to experience the love of Christ, how are they going to do it? We can invite people into the family, yeah? We can invite people to church or to a cell group. We know by experience that there's only a small amount of people we meet that are going to be willing to come. Very often it's a big step, especially for a Muslim or a Buddhist, to come to a Christian church service. So if they don't want to come, how are they going to meet the church family? If you can't bring them to the family, can we take the family to them? If you can't bring them into the family, can we take the family to them? Yes. And how can we do it? How can we let people experience the family of God without coming to church? Is it possible? Yes, of course it's possible. One little tool you can have here to help us think about this. It's what I call an open group. We often call it a missional community. Maybe a simpler expression is an open group. An open group is a place where you have disciples, others Jesus, together with people who don't know Jesus. Where they can meet together, build relationships, get to know each other, where the people that don't know Jesus can experience Jesus through the fellowship of the Christians that are there. Now, this is not an evangelizing group. The main purpose of this group here is to build relationships. Okay? Heart to heart. I'm not an artist. It doesn't matter. The idea with this missional community, or this open group, is to bring people together so they can build relationships. You see, very often people will first meet the fellowship, first meet the family, and then meet the Father. If they can come in and find that here's a place where people see me, where they listen to me, where they want to bless me, where people accept me the way I am, then maybe I'll be willing to say, what's behind this? Why are you like this? Why are you different than the people I meet in the rest of the world? And through that love, I can meet the Father. Think of all the people struggling with all the things in the world. Sexual identity, addictions of all kinds. You know, people that just don't understand that they're worthy of anything, right? They don't need preaching. They don't need a message to their heads. They need love. They need to be embraced by the family. Yes. They need to find healing. And then maybe through that they'll be able to find Jesus, right? Practically. What's a good way of doing this? Get 3 ideas that might help us. The first one is food. That's a fish. That's a plate. That's food. Okay? I'm not an artist. I can't buy chickens. Fish. How many times a day do we eat? 3, 4, right. 5 maybe. That means every day we have 3 to 5 additional opportunities. Okay? What did Jesus do? He sat down and ate with people. Remember back at a party, they came and ate at his house. He sat down with these people and ate with them, right? And through the conversations, over the meal, they sit there together, they start to share life. Okay? How many chances a day we have to eat with people? Maybe it's a cup of coffee. Just at the cafe with your coworker. Maybe it's sitting at lunch together, a couple of Christians and a couple of around. Maybe it's 2 families getting together for dinner. Maybe it's the church going out for a picnic after the service, inviting their friends to come with them. Maybe it's the children having whatever, they have hot dogs or whatever, inviting their neighbor friends. So whatever we can find to have chance to eat together, we can start to build fellowship, relationships. Maybe regularly, maybe once a week, maybe just every now and then. But food is a great chance. It's a great opportunity to find a way to build relationships, okay? Another one. Fun. What do we do for fun? Hobbies. Things we enjoy doing. We can do together with others. Sports, for instance, right? Football. They have what they call the Akta House in Mukdahan, where the young people live together in a home where they have fellowship with each other, the discipling, and they go out every week or whatever. They have a regular thing where they meet the other teenagers and they just play football with them, right? They don't evangelize. They play football. They run and they shout and they sweat and they get mad and they laugh and they build fellowship, they get to know each other, right? And of course, once you build the relationships down the road, they can invite them into the house, they can invite them into their life, they can start to see what it's like to be a disciple, and they say, I want that too, and it happens. What else is fun? What do you do for fun?
Board games.
Board games, perfect. We have a board game. We have some with one of our church plants in Norway. That's the main mission guy. It's like 3 guys who play board games. They invite some other friends. Every week they get together and play board games, right? Wow. And now after half a year, they're starting to start asking questions about Jesus, right? They start playing board games. What else is fun? Yeah.
Fishing.
Fishing! Wonderful. Go fishing together. You're stuck in a boat. You can't leave, right? Or along the boat, maybe on the shore. I don't know how you fish here in Thailand. Okay, but you fish together. Great. Do something fun. Do something people like. You see, because we often think about evangelizing, it's talking, it's telling about things, right? And that means that we disqualify 95% of the church because they don't know how to tell the gospel, they're afraid of talking about it, right? Especially men, very often, that aren't evangelists, or they'll think that I can't talk, I can't evangelize, so I'll just do something else, right? But they can fish together, right? They can do sports together, they can work on their motorbikes together, they can find something that's fun to do, right? And start to build relationships. The last thing, work. This is supposed to be 2 hands here. What kind of work things can we do together regularly to build relationships? I was just up in the villages in people in the villages in Ubon province. They talked, we go out, we can gather mushrooms together in the woods and sell them at the market. Someone else said, we can start making these nets, they use for the fishing or for the sticky rice or whatever they do, right? They can make these things and they can go out and sell them together. They can do something productive together with Christians and non-Christians because everyone has to work every day, right? They need to do something to make money. And of course, they build relationships. You see? Other ideas? Work? How can we find work together we can do with people? Ideas? One guy at the last church talked about fixing motorbikes, because he can do that. And so he can invite the other young people, right, in the community there to come over with their motorbikes. And he can help them out, they can work on their bikes together, show them how to fix things, right? Use something very practical to build relationships. And then, through that, to show the love of God. See that? Remember, God didn't call us to save the world, He called us to love the world. He called us to love our neighbors. We love, He saves. Okay? We're not saving them, we're loving them. Right? And it says that the goodness of God will bring them to repentance. Right? When you show goodness to people, when you show compassion and love to people, that will bring them to the Father, and He gives them salvation. Okay? You understand that?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's wrong to evangelize on the streets. I'm not saying it's wrong with television and radio, of sending them out there, sharing the gospel with others. Do it, for sure. But we're not going to reach everybody that way. Because an awful lot of people need to know how much we care for them. Need to see the love and be accepted and embraced before they will dare to take a step closer to Jesus. You got that? Okay, let's go to the group one more time. Now, remember the first question was about what is. This question is about what can be. Let's dream a little bit, brainstorm a little bit, and think in what ways can we get the people from our fellowship, our church, out there, living their lives with others. Remember, this is not the pastors. This is everybody. Okay? It's It's not the evangelists. These are the people that maybe are still not sure if they're saved or not. This is the kids. Little kids can do this. The adults can do it. The youth, the old people can do it. Right? Because everyone can build relationships. No matter how grounded they are in the gospel. Okay? When we're working with people now, they're uncertain, students and people. You start to help them, how can you live your lives? Where can you find these connections with people now? Okay, hang out together, do fun things together. And know that we're doing, by doing this, we're trying to bring the love of God. We're not evangelizing, okay? We can do that too. Of course we can do, evangelizing events go out there, but I'm talking now about something else. I'm talking about building relationships with people, thinking long term. And through that note, further down the road, I want them to meet Jesus. See the difference? It's like you're talking about an ulterior motive, right? If you're trying to bring them into something, right? Bait and switch. You try to sell them a meal and then you give them Jesus instead. It's not that. The ultimate goal is that they're going to meet Jesus. Okay? We're not trying to trick them into anything. We're not trying to, get into back. We're just trying to love them, show them, and build relationships. Okay? You got that? Any questions? Is this clear? Yeah. I'm going really fast now because we don't have so much time. Normally I spend more time. But I just want you now to go into your groups one more time and talk about what could be. What are the possibilities? In what way can our church show the love of God to non-Christians through open groups? Okay? In what way can people in our church show the love of God to non-Christians through open groups? What kind of groups are there? Okay, you can talk about food, fun, work, or anything else you want to. Okay? Just have fun and dream a little bit. Everything's possible now. Everything's possible. Okay? Go into groups. 10 more minutes. Don't take a break. Increase the interaction. Take our family out there. More people are meeting with this family. They can bring with the Father, right? And what you hear now, what we would do is we spend some time now. Okay, if you heard some other ideas from the other guys that you think are good, write them down. Go talk to them. Ask more about what they do and steal their ideas. Okay, you can do that. Everyone can steal ideas. It's open for everybody. Okay? Stealing is allowed. Now, we've only got a few hours, like I said, so we've got to wrap up agenda 1 for this time. What we would now do is we go to the next phase. What will be? Now, based on our evaluations, right, of where we are, and based on the dreaming we've done, not just in one session, but in several sessions, what are we going to do now? What's the next step? What do we want to plan now for the next 6 months? Okay, so we go back in our groups, spend an hour or so. First we pray, God, lead us now. God, give us your revelation, give us your ideas. How can we be part of what you're doing now? Give us your ideas so we know we'll be successful because we'll be part of what you're doing, right? We'll talk together in the groups, start sharing what we have, and everyone shares, right? One thing about Agenda 1, it's not the pastor here, everyone has to share. Sometimes you get out in the villages where you have a pastor that always tells everyone what they're going to do, right? The people in the church have never in their lives been asked what they think. They get told what to do, right? So all of a sudden, you're asking them, what do you think? So it gets everyone involved. So everybody gets involved in the process, they share their ideas, and they decide, okay, maybe we'll have 3 or 4, maximum 5 goals for the next 6 months, okay? It can be about teaching the church about identity. It can be about asking who you sent to, who you sent together with. It can be like, okay, we want to start a new group for the youth, or we want to start celebrating whatever, find a new basketball. You decide, okay, these are the plans for the next 6 months, okay? And then what you do in the planning is very important here. In each plan, you have to write down who's responsible. Okay? So we're on the team, not just a pastor, everyone's involved, right? Who's responsible for making this happen? Okay? And what's the next step? What's the next thing we do, okay? If we're going to start the basketball group, okay? You have to know who's going to be responsible, when's the first time, when is the first get together, where's it going to be, who's going to, make us go. So we know, when you get home, we know what to do. You don't have to have a new meeting with the board to decide, but we know what we're going to do, okay? So you make the plans very detailed, very clear, so we can judge them after. We'll know afterwards if you succeeded or not, if you make good plans. We have to make a plan, something specific, we can follow. So then when you get home, we do it. A month or 2, so to call up, maybe this lady here, how's it going with your plans? Yeah, how's it going? You forgot about it? No. Oh yeah, but what are you going to do now, right? Hold your responsible. Of course, the call of the phone also, how's it going with you guys? What's up? Tell me your testimonies, right? What are you struggling with? How can I pray for you, right? So the person who contacts groups in between the gatherings will also be a network builder, right? If you got a challenge in place, maybe someone else can help you with that. Or maybe I have some insight I can help you with. But we work together with it, right? Plus also how are the plans going. So we come back together in 6 months, and we can tell what happened last time. We plan to have a basketball group. We have 3 basketball groups now, right? Or we decided we're going to have dinner once a week. It didn't work out, so we're going to have once a month. That's fine. We're still having dinner, right? But I mean, you tell what's happening, and you go on, right? So the next time you get together, okay, where are we now? New possibilities, new ideas, new challenges, new way to think. How can we start equipping our disciples better, right? More interaction, make sure we get everyone involved. Who's going to do the discipling here? How are we going to raise the new leaders, right? And we talk about that, and make a new plan for the next 6 months, and come back. So Agenda 1 will be a process we work together with. Why am I telling you this? I've talked a lot about this. If it's possible to do Agenda 1 in your network. We want to find a way. If you guys are interested, you see that this might be something that could work with you, we want to find a way to help you do it. You've already been involved and you understand what's going on. And I can't say now what's going to happen, but I want to let you know that if you are interested in doing Agenda 1, we'll try to find a way to make it work. Okay? Those of you who are in Thailand, it's possible to join one of our learning communities here. We have several in the East. We have one starting tomorrow, or Monday in Mae Hong Son. We have one up in Mae Sai, and there will be more coming too. If you're in Cambodia, maybe you can join a Cambodian learning community. We have several going on there. In Kandal will be in next week. We'll see. But no matter what, whether or not you want to start the process of Agenda 1, I hope at least then you've got an idea about a new way to think. It's possible to expand your way of doing church. It helps us understand that we can lift our eyes and look above. Church is much more than all of the activities that we do, the church services, the responsibilities we have, the budgets, the buildings, okay? It's all about identity. It's about who we are in relation to God, in relation to family, in relation to the world around us. And I hope that by hearing this also, it can lift some of the weight off the shoulders of the pastors. Because remember, it's not about everything you do. It's not your ministry. Deepest, how did that? At the very core of what I'm trying to say here, it's not your ministry. It's not about you. It's not about your church. It's not about your activities, your building, your budgets. Okay, we're part of something much bigger than ourselves. This is God's mission to the world, and it's going to succeed. It will. Who's going to stop the Lord Almighty? Nobody. Okay? We're on the winning team, and whether or not our ministry flourishes or it fizzles out, we're still part of the winning team. And we're going to experience, challenges. We're going to experience failures. It doesn't matter. Get up and keep going because we're on the winning team. And keep that in mind, okay? It's not about you. It's not about your ministry. And as long as we're involved in what God is doing, we're always going to win. My pastor tells a story. Martin Cave, he started a little church, or came into a little church that was dying about 30 years ago. Yeah. And he said he didn't know what to do. He was stuck. He was a young pastor. Things weren't going right. So he prayed, God, what am I going to do now? But then, after a while, he decided, you know what, that's a really stupid prayer. And I say, God, what am I going to do? This is my problem. He started to say, God, what are you going to do now? God, what are you doing? How can I be part of what you're doing? And that's not his responsibility. It's God's responsibility, right? It's his problem. It's his budget. It's his support. It's his church building. It's his roof that's leaking. God, what are you going to do now? Okay? So if I can get you one thing out of this now, remember, it's not about me. I'm part of what God's doing. It's God's love being shared in my life, the life of the people around me, that we're sharing with the world around us. Okay? Ciao.
Thank you, Sid. Isn't he amazing? You can see he's on fire. I love when Steve is on fire. Sorry, I just have to wipe you out. This last hour, we have 1 hour left before dinner or whatever. I'm going to share a little bit, going back, we have heard some of the strategy behind the Agenda 1 and the method. But we have never left the atmosphere of the presence. We have never left it. You know, it's like a shape. I love shapes. You know, in the Agenda 1 we love shapes. I will make another shape. You know, if we are here, or here, or here, if we are emphasizing the presence, strategy, you know, the content, the measure of the picture is the same. The content is always the same. We would like to bring the presence and what you are giving and what destiny is so good at into what we are doing. You know, if you're talking strategy, if you are talking how to, or if we are talking identity, the measure, the content is the same. It's about Him. It's about God in us, through us, and around us, right? And I just love to connect with you because you are so special. No, I said I will share a little bit now. I'll share some of the hearts of Agenda 1. And then we will have a testimony from Marit. She will share from her story. And I learned to know Marit from 12 years ago. And for me, this is an amazing example of what I was talking about earlier on today. Focus on what you have and what you can do with it. You have everything in you. Everything is possible with God. But before I start, I just would like us to shift the tempo a little bit. So just close your eyes, put out your hands. Be quiet for a moment. Thank you, Jesus. I just thank you for this day. Thank you for the fellowship. Thank you for the family. Thank you for the family, Jesus. Come. Come, Jesus. We are hungry for more. We want to see that this region of the world is going to be reached by the gospel. It's going to be touched by your love, melted in your love. Thank you for bringing us together. Jesus. Come. Come, Jesus. Amen. The wonderful thing about church growth is that we are free of pressure of bringing forth life. Because it's only God who gives life. It's only God who gives life. We can lay off the pressure. That is grace. You can never, through work with strategy, build any kind of life. But you know what? healthy life needs some structure to sustain and to develop. But you cannot do the opposite way. In our Western context, we have a long tradition of doing that, I admit. We have a long tradition of doing that, trying to organize healthy life. That's not possible. I love to mix with the Asian people. Together we can be strong. You know, together we can be really, really strong. I believe that. I just want us to read some scriptures that we probably know. Bringing together strategy, identity. If you can just put up the first verses. We are going to read some verses from Ephesians chapter 3. I just love those verses. I will use this one, so sorry. Can you put that's there? Paul is praying for strength, spiritual strength for his church in Ephesus. I love the chapter that Paul wrote to the Ephesians. I learned from a good man, you know, the letter to the Ephesians. It's like the pure manual of how to do church. It's not written into a specific situation or addressing a specific topic. It's just, here you are, go and be church. Do this and you're church. Think of that next time you read Ephesians. It's like the closest you come to how to build church. And then Paul, he prays for his people. And in this prayer, he starts off like this. For this reason, I bow my knees before the Father, from whom every family in heaven and on earth is named. That according to the riches of His glory, He may grant you to be strengthened with power through His Spirit in your inner beings. First and foremost, laying the foundation of identity, praying identity into His people in Ephesus. For this reason, I bow my knees before the Father, from whom every family in heaven and on earth is named. And then addressing to His glory. That is the reason why. His glory. He's just laying the foundation before addressing the rest of the prayer. We are family, right? Okay, go on. Next one. Reading further on. Praying the Paul. So that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith, that you, being rooted and grounded in love, may have strength to comprehend with all the saints what is the breadth and the length and height and the depth, and to know the love of Christ that surpasses knowledge, that you may be filled with all the fullness of God. Praying for strength. Praying, first he just said that the strength comes from me. The strength is in Him. And then he addressing growth. And you know, very often when we are thinking of growth, we see above the soil, above what is happening on the ground. But you know, when we are talking about growth, look down, look into the soil, and what is happening into the soil. Right?
Yes.
And Paul is addressing that very clearly. Very often, people get stressed talking about growth. Is this perspective stressful? Being grounded and rooted in love. You know, it's like a tree. I love the picture of a tree. I'm not very good at drawing anything, but I can make a tree.
It's great.
Yeah. Like this. And then you have the roots. Like this. If you put some more colors on it will be great. So you have some fruit on this tree, you know. Okay, that's my way of drawing a tree. It's something about the soil, about being rooted and grounded, and not in whatever, not in your self-confidence, self-esteem, not in the confirmation only from the good words from other people. It could strengthen our identity, but not in the world around us, but in Him, in love. In love. You have to be rooted and grounded in love. Yeah. Right? Be rooted and grounded in love. And if you are rooted and grounded, if you have the good soil, then the tree will come automatically. Actually, the Bible in Mark uses the word automatos in Greek, automatically. It will come, the life will come. It's God's job to bring forth the fruits. What we should do is to have good roots and to let the tree grow, to have the courage to show the tree, you know. I would say that Agenda 1 is not a tool that can bring forth this, cannot bring life. Agenda 1, what we do is that we cultivate soil. This is one thing that we actually can do. And this is one of the things that God created us to do. To cultivate, to steward this world, and to steward the soil. And this is our calling through what we are presenting today. It is to cultivate the soil. I believe we have some tools. We have some shovels, some whatever it's called in English. All the kind of tools you need to cultivate the soil. Agenda 1 or one tool, or maybe several tools, can give you tools to cultivate the soil. And then we can see that the life will come automatically. And there is another thing about this verse that I just love. You can see him talking about to grasp the fullness of God's love. And then you see, it's not like when we are together. Where is it now? Together with all the saints. Where is that? Oh, yeah, there. May He strength that you have strength to comprehend with all the saints. With all the saints, that was my point. That means it's not possible to understand the fullness of God's love without standing together. It's not possible. No. If I don't know Paul, if I don't know you, I will not understand the fullness of God's love. I will grasp some ideas. I will have a part of it. And I can imagine more. There is more. And God had more for me. It's about atmosphere. It's about being in His presence. But definitely, it's about being in the presence of all the saints. When I meet you, I learn more about the love of the Father. Together with all the saints. That means there is a limit of this if we don't keep together. There is a limit of this if we don't keep together. I long for unity among Christians. I long for unity. Not because we need to belong to the same organization, but we have the same destination. and the same destiny. Right? So when we are gathered in Agenda 1 learning community, or wherever we are gathered, it's not so much because of where you come from, but where are you heading? Where are you heading? That is the reason why we are together. We do not need to be agree on everything. That's okay. There's mercy for that. But will we let go of this? There is more. It's not just more presence. It is more presence. But I need to see that in your face, because you are a mirror of who God is. 2 Corinthians chapter 4 or 3 or something. You are a mirror. Somewhere. I like I'm not into details. Okay, next. Go on. We have some more. Okay. Paul is still praying for his church. Now to him who is able to do far more abundantly than all that we ask or think. Think of that. You think big. I know you destiny people. But he is thinking far more than you. According to the power at work within us. The power at work within us. It's not your power, but what do you manage? What is it that you do? To him be the glory. And this is the purpose, the deep, deep purpose. It's not to expose ourselves and to show the world I am so good. Oh, that could happen. That is not the reason. That is not the reason. The big, big reason why we exist. God is love. He needs to love somebody. He wants to love us. And He wants the glory. You see? According to the power that works within us, to Him be the glory in the church and in Christ Jesus throughout all generations, forever and ever. And that is the reason why. That is the big, big why. It's because of Him. It's through Him. It's for Him. To lift up Him and His glory, to make His name known. There is no other name than Jesus. And that is the only strategy. That is the only purpose deep we have. To live in love and to glorify His name. Is this okay? Yeah. So don't be stressed with the fruits. Look at the seed. Look at the seed. Because that is from God. That if you have a seed, you have a seed. He will plant the seed. But you make sure that this soil is okay. That is your responsibility. Take care of the soil. Steward the soil. Bring nutrition. You make sure that the sun can reach to the ground, that it has enough water, everything that it needs. This soil is the fellowship of all the saints. When we are gathered together, we create good soil. And this is very fertile soil that we are standing in right today. Very, very fertile soil. But you don't stress about the size of the tree. Look at the seed. Trust in the seed. Trust in what is given you. If it's small, if it's big, I don't care. And that is one of the things that impressed me in Paul. When you came to Bojan, this was not a very big setting. A small setting when you joined us at Agenda 1. It was a small setting. Not very successful churches, I would say. Quite medium. But you saw the heart. You saw the seed. You said to me, you have something. You have the first, what is called, the first fruit. And you saw potential. You didn't see the problems. And for me, that's leadership. You see potential. Look at the seed. Do not stress with the fruit. If I plant a tree today and I say, come on, give me fruit, I want fruit tomorrow. That is of no use. I'm hungry. You plant it, you stir it, you take care of it, and then the fruit will come. And that is not a question, that's a promise.
Wow. That's profound.
Yeah. Okay, I think you got it. And right after this prayer, Paul is starting to talk about unity. Ephesians chapter 4 is maybe known for talking about the fivefold ministry. In the chapter 4 of Ephesians, talking about the diversity. The whole point of talking about diversity is the unity. When it comes together. That is the point of the fivefold. It's not to split up the church, but actually to unite it. Because you cannot see the fullness before you are together in the fivefold ministry. So, just read together the first 4 verses. Can you put up that? The first 3 verses. I therefore, and this is directly after praying, this is the following verse. I therefore, a prisoner for the Lord, urge you to walk in a manner worthy of the calling to which you have been called, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love, eager to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. Keep the unity, not in the bond of organization, but in the bond of peace. And who is peace? Prince of Peace. That's Jesus within us and through us. Can we just keep the bond of peace? We don't need to agree on it. It's also about setting words and atmosphere. It's peace. I'm longing for that peace to take over who we are, how we think about ourselves as churches, different members. Keep together in the bond